What's going on, guys? Welcome to Inside the Horseshoe. My name is Matt, and tomorrow is the NFL Draft. I cannot wait for tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. And what I decided to do today was I decided to do one final mock draft, and this is going to cover all 7 rounds. Now, before I get into the video, if you're new, if you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 2,000 before the start of the upcoming season, so if you could help me get there, I would really appreciate it. Also, click the bell icon so you're notified when I upload a video or when I go live. If you like this video, smack the like button. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you have a Twitter, make sure you follow me on Twitter at horseshoe_pod. There's a link in the description down below. And real quick, this is not what I would do. My draft, it would look different than this mock draft. However, this mock draft, it represents what I believe the Colts are going to do with their picks. So that being said, let's get into it. Let's start off with round 1, pick 15. Now, I struggled on what position I felt like they were going to address with this pick. However, I went with edge rusher, and I think they're going to draft Jared Verse, edge rusher from Florida State. Now, let me tell you a couple reasons why I feel like they're going to go with an edge rusher, because I know a lot of people think they're going to go with a receiver, they're going to go for Brock Bowers, or they're going to go corner. Let me tell you why I believe they're going to go with an edge rusher. Reason number 1, they offered more money to Danielle Hunter than Houston did. He only went to Houston because he wanted to play for his hometown. Understand that, totally fine. But when that happened, when they offered more money for Danielle Hunter than Houston, that told me they are looking to add another edge rusher. They're looking to upgrade that position. And look, I've kind of gone back and forth, receiver, they're going to go with that. They're going to go with an edge. They're going to go with this, that, and the other thing. However, I really think the biggest reason why they're going to go edge here is because they wanted to upgrade at that position. They didn't do it in free agency. When you got 3 really talented guys in the first round that can absolutely upgrade that position, I think they're going to address it there. I don't think they're going to go receiver because Chris Ballard has said that this is one of the best receiving classes he's ever seen. And you can get some really good first-round talent receivers in the second round. So I don't think they're going to go receiver in the first round. And another reason why I don't think they're going to go with corner is because Chris Ballard himself has spoke highly on Kenny Moore, Juju Brents, Dallas Flowers. I don't think they go and address that position in the first round. I do think there's a chance maybe they do it in some other round, or maybe after the draft they add it in free agency. However, I don't think they're going to address it in the first round. I think they go edge. I felt like that at the beginning, swayed, but I'm ultimately back with edge rusher, and I think they go Jared Verse. So Jared Verse this past season was very good for Florida State. 9 sacks, 1 forced fumble, had 41 total tackles, 23 was solo. He's got good size, he's got good speed, 4.58 40-yard dash. I like that very much. And here's something that is pretty exciting to me, because I know some people are like, oh, we don't know if Jared Verse is fully developed yet. Jared Verse has been an edge rusher for 2 years. And he's doing those things because I believe he played tight end and he transitioned when he transferred to Florida State to be an edge rusher. And for only being an edge rusher for 2 years, those are some pretty dominant numbers. Very good against the pass. Very good. He's going to be able to get away from the offensive lineman, and he's going to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. And here's the thing, too. You put him next to DeForest Buckner, you can't double team Buckner. You can't double team Verse. Don't know why I blanked on his name. You can't double team Verse. So I think it just adding Jared Verse improves your defensive line, and it also improves the secondary along with that. So I have Jared Verse going first at pick 15 to the Colts. Now let's move on to pick 46. This is where I think they add a receiver. I think they're going to add a wide receiver here, and I got them taking Xavier Legette from South Carolina. Xavier Legette was very good for South Carolina this past season. Had 71 receptions for 1,255 yards, 7 touchdowns. He averaged 17.7 yards per catch, which is pretty impressive. He's got good size, 6'1", 221 pounds, ran a 4.39 40-yard dash. He is athletic. He's got really good hands. He can be a really good deep threat for you. And I know some people are like, oh, he's not a great route runner. I think he's pretty solid as a route runner. And I think Shane Steichen is going to be able to develop that and put him in situations where he can thrive. Also, what's good while he develops, he doesn't have to be the number one guy or the number two guy. You got those already. Michael Pittman Jr. is your number one. Josh Downs is your number two. I have a lot of confidence in Alec Pierce. That's your number three. So you can let Leggett develop and you can use him in certain situations and you can make it work. I think Leggett would be a great pickup here. The only weakness I can really think of with his game is not a great blocker. That's definitely a weakness on his end, but I don't think you have to be a great blocker to be a great receiver. You catch the ball, have good speed, run your routes. That's what's going to make you a good receiver, and Leggett absolutely is that. Also, we should keep in mind, too, I think this is a real big possibility because the Colts did have a top 30 visit with Leggett. So keep that in mind as well. So I think the Colts, they go Leggett here at pick 46. All right, so now let's move on to our third round pick, which I believe they're going to go safety. They could go a few other positions. I think they go safety. That is the weakness in the secondary. I think they address it here. I have them taking the Darian Taylor Demerson from Texas Tech. Very good season for Texas Tech this past season. 4 interceptions, 72 total tackles, 53 were solo, 7 pass deflections. Had a very nice year. Has good speed, 4.41 40-yard dash, so he's not just going to get burned. He's going to be able to keep up with his man when you have him cover whoever. He's good in coverage, zone, man, press. He's good in that stuff. He's good when it comes to run defense as well. He's a good tackler. The only thing I look at as far as like a pretty big weakness for him is his size. He is 5'10". There's other safeties that will probably be available at 82 that are bigger than him. However, I think with his speed, I think that's going to help. And I think he can fit in really well next to Julian Blackmon. So I have the Colts taking the Darian Taylor Demerson from Texas Tech. All right, so now let's move on to round 4. And this is where I think they start to address the offensive line. I have them going with a right tackle, Blake Fisher from Notre Dame. So Blake Fisher is a guy that I think you would take and you would have him develop for a season or two. I do believe that we're going to see Braden Smith retire in the next 2 years. So I think it would be smart to look to the future, look past Braden Smith. And I think Blake Fisher can be that for you. He's pretty solid in the pass and run blocking game. I do think you need to develop him a little bit there. He's got pretty good size. He's 6'6", so that's something you don't have to really worry about. I think he should have returned to Notre Dame for another season. That's why I think you take him and you develop him. But if you develop him properly, which I think they will, Blake Fisher, I think, can definitely be the right tackle of the future. So I have them going Blake Fisher in the 4th round. All right, so now let's move on to the 5th round. I think they're going to add a running back here. I think they're going to go Audric Estime for Notre Dame. So Audric Estime, to me, I think is the perfect backup to Jonathan Taylor. He is the perfect replacement for Zach Moss. He is big. He's got a nice burst of speed. He's a little faster than you would think. You open up a hole for him. He has the potential to take it to the house. He had 1,341 rushing yards this past season, 18 rushing touchdowns. He's a very good running back. I'm kind of surprised that he's not climbing a little bit. It seems like he's kind of staying put at that 4th, 5th round. I think he's going to be available in round 5. So me personally, I think you should look to address that backup running back role because you don't want to have Jonathan Taylor run it 30 times a game. I would prefer 18 to 20 times a game. I think Audric Estime is a perfect number 2 for Jonathan Taylor. So I have the Colts going running back Audric Estime in round 5. All right, so now let's move on to round 6. We're going to go back to the offensive line here, but more specifically, we're going center because you got to look past Ryan Kelly. I don't think Ryan Kelly's going to be here for more than a couple years, so I think getting a replacement for him wouldn't be a bad idea. I have them taking Drake Nugent from Michigan. So Drake Nugent is a solid pass blocker, solid run blocker. Again, got to develop him. Pretty good with his hands, but needs some work in that department. He's got to be a little more consistent with his hands. Work on his feet a little more. Like he's not bad with the feet movement, but work on it a little bit more. He is pretty athletic for center. Also, he does play pretty nasty too. He's a guy that will be a little nasty on that offensive line, which I do like quite a bit. Again, he's just a guy that you take, you hold on to, you develop him for a couple of years, and then hopefully he is the guy to replace Ryan Kelly. So I'm going to go with Drake Nugent from Michigan. All right, now it's time to move on to the final pick of this mock draft. And it feels like every single year, Chris Ballard takes a linebacker day 3, and they do turn out to be pretty good. There was a linebacker that he took day 3 in the 7th round that ended up being a pretty good linebacker. His name is Zaire Franklin. Pretty good linebacker, has broken the franchise record for most tackles in a season, twice now? It's a pretty good linebacker. So I think they're going to go ahead and they're going to take a linebacker in the 7th round. I have them going with Edufwan Ilafosio from Washington. This guy is very talented. He's got pretty good speed, 4.56 40-yard dash. Good when it comes to pass rush. It's a good tackler. It's good in the run defense. Pretty good coverage guy. Is he phenomenal in all those things? No, but he's good. Like he's not bad. He's a pretty good, he's pretty good in coverage, pretty good tackler, pass rush, all that stuff, right? This past season, 90 tackles. You want to talk about a guy that can get you a lot of tackles? 90 tackles is what he got Washington this past season. Had 3 sacks. He forced 1 fumble, 58 solo tackles. Very talented linebacker, but he is kind of hanging around that 7th round spot. And if he's available in round 7, I do expect the Colts to take him. So I think Colts, once again, they go with another linebacker day 3, 7th round, Edufwan Ulofoshio from Washington. And if the Colts do end up taking him, I will make sure I get that name pronounced correctly so I don't screw up when I try to say his name. Trust me, when I was trying to learn Giannis Antetokounmpo's name, it was a struggle. It was a struggle. So, yeah. Anyway, that is the mock draft. That is all 7 rounds. And that is going to do it. Thank you very much for watching this. If you're new, if you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate if you would click that subscribe button. Also, click the bell icon so you're notified when I upload a video or when I go live. If you like this video, smack the like button. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you have a Twitter, make sure you follow me on Twitter at horseshoe_pod. There's a link in the description down below. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Matt, Bleed Blue, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you watch one of these other 2 videos. They're cool. Also, if you're new, please click the subscribe button as well as the bell icon. I greatly appreciate your support.